It's stunning. It's stunning. Like there's some scenes in there. You're like, the opening scene when it comes all the way out from the sky onto the drive-in and it goes straight into the race, and you're like, come on, bro, how you do this to me? Like you throw me right into a race. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can only give compliments to cinematographer Joseph as well for directing such a stunning movie, bro, with a great soundtrack. Hans again.
Smashed it. Smashed it.
Feels.
All
It
right.
feels. It's a movie about feels.
Feels. I've been to F1 in Singapore and I just went honestly for the concert. Hans Zimmer was playing, so I was like, let me go. But I saw the F1 and it was amazing. I don't know nothing about F1. I've never been into like watching the sport and following the sport, but I appreciate the engineering and the speed and the athleticism that you need to go through to drive those cars and whatnot, and the
Mm.
risks that they're taking. But this movie honestly made me feel like I was in the F1 experience.
Never break the chain.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geekout channel. This is a movie review for F1. Before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Cherish Clicks. See the magic, be the magic, be the magic. Check the description for more. F1. Let's get into this experience, man. Kibbs, the reason why I wanted to do a review for this movie is because I put this movie on. And normally, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I kind of get on my phone and kind of watch the movie. It's always most of the stuff these days, background movie. Man, this movie immediately made me put my phone down. I don't know what it was. Oh, I want to talk about what it was. But at that time, I was like, why has this film captivated me so much? And this movie made me put my phone down, and I was just like really stunned about how amazing this movie was. Not just the storytelling of the main character, which I forgot his name. I got it right here. Hold on. But it
Rusty?
was
Not
also
Rusty.
Sonny Hayes, Brad
Sunny
Pitt's
Hayes, not
character.
Rusty. Where did Rusty come from? Yeah, Sunny
Yeah,
Hayes. Yes.
but also it made me just feel like I listen. I've been to F1 in Singapore, and I just went honestly for the concert. Hans Zimmer was playing, so I was like, let me go. But I saw the F1 and it was amazing. I don't know nothing about F1. I've never been into like watching the sport and following the sport, but I appreciate the engineering and the speed and the athleticism that you need to go through to drive those cars and whatnot, and the
Mm.
risks that they're taking. But this movie honestly made me feel like I was in the F1 experience, right? It was so bad. I mean, it's like so. It got me so into it at the end, and this is a spoiler review, guys. When what's his name? Sorry, I got all the names here and stuff. When Desmond Idris's character Joshua Pearce
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
was right at the end, head to head with Lewis Hamilton, and then they crashed. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, literally, like, I was watching, it was a real sport, like, it was real. That's how
Yeah,
much
yeah,
it
yeah.
got me into it. For like, and I was like, Kibbs, this movie's fantastic. We need to do a review because damn, it got me. So that's my excitement. That's why I wanted to do this. Bro, you watched it. What was your thoughts?
So I watched it with the boys in cinema. I know Ati watched it on the screening. Shout out to Warner Brothers UK for that one. Uh, and she said she absolutely loved it. The soundtrack, the sound, everything was great. I think I caught it with the boys a week later or so, and we watched it in IMAX. Bro, same experience in cinema. That was insane. Like really, you felt it. The engines, the road surfaces, and everything. Like it's an amazing experience. I think John, who is it? John, who's the director?
Director. Oh, I didn't pull that up. Sorry.
Hold on, F1 director. Sorry. Show our respects. But we're doing this live, guys. So
Yeah,
the F1
should be more
director
prepared.
is Joseph Kosinski. Man, we the shit with names, bro. Kosinski. There you go. That's it. I said it right. Joseph has done several movies, which is absolutely amazing. He gave us Top Gun Maverick. He gave us Tron Legacy. He gave us Oblivion. We've had some amazing movies with this director, and he knows scale, how to make you feel things. And even with the soundtrack, bro, like Hans Zimmer's soundtrack on this movie was insanely good. But we had a great time, bro. We came out, Jakub was much, bro. Jakub was all over the place. I was sitting next to Carl and Bobby, and we were like, bro, it was intense. Like we felt it, and it's not that we that age now where we see ourselves as Sonny. You know,
Mm,
like
mm.
I connected to Sonny on a different level. This was like Rocky in F1.
Right, right. The underdog story
The underdog.
of
It's a
not
great
just
underdog story.
Yeah, not just Sonny, but also that company, the car manufacturer, APX GP. That
Yeah.
car,
That's right.
the one, you know, I don't even know what to call it. The car manufacturer, the F1 car, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I'm trying to remember the guy who owned it. What was his name again? It was Javier, the actor. Oh man, hold
Yeah,
up.
love
Continue.
for Javier Bardem. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
continue.
yeah, so Ruben, his character's name was Ruben Cervantes. Javier Bardem, and I give up, bro, mad love for
Javier.
Javier. I'm not gonna get into it, but mad love for him. My man speaks up without no hesitation, so he's the man. But yeah, no, I agree, bro, because like I've watched F1 movies before. I've seen Senna and I've seen Rush and whatnot, and those movies for me were always about the character, about specific F1 racers who I'm not familiar with. Again, I don't follow the sport. I know like Michael Schumacher. When they started talking about Brad Pitt's character racing back in the days with Michael Schumacher and the Brazilian dude Senna, you were like, okay, I'm familiar with that, and I love that it's a made up story, but it fits in the real world, if that makes sense, using those characters and everything. But this movie, like, not only got me into like his character and even Joshua's character, it got me into F1 and the strategy of F1 and the tires and the pit stop and the engineering and all of that sort of stuff. And then also the endurance and the training and the reflex
Mm.
training. And really, like, bro, honestly, it was called F1 for a reason, because I really feel like it dove into every aspect of what an F1, from the racing to the athletes, the politics, to the sponsors, to the money, to the danger, to strategy. I don't, bro, listen, of course there's strategy with racing. I've never known the strategy of racing, obviously, because I don't
Yeah.
follow racing, but this movie explained it to me. I feel like this movie was like a guide, an introduction to F1 if you've never been into the sport. When I went to Singapore and watched it, and bro, like the cars, I was amazed by that and the way they sound, and they just zoom, bro. I would never get one of those
Yeah.
cars. They'll scare the shit out of me going that fast. I'll never get in one. But man, I can't believe this movie got me so into it. I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. It's one of those movies I just bust on, and I put my phone down. And I was like, oh my god, this has got me. Good,
No, it was
super nice.
great. Absolutely great experience. A great experience movie, and Brad Pitt brings this charm with him. Even Idris, I forgot his name in the movie, but
Name it. Oh, Joshua Pearce.
his name was Joshua Pearce. All right, yeah,
As the movie, yeah, his real name's
yeah.
Desmond Idris.
Desmond Idris. But I loved, the banter between the two, and just the challenges of the hardships of what you physically put yourself through mentally doing that, because you have to basically have all senses working at the same time. You're not just driving straight and looking at mirrors. You're driving at 300, 200 miles per hour, taking corners in this lightweight car that could actually flip over and make you lose. You know what I mean? And there are some moments in this movie where you're like, "Eesh, my God, that is horrible." And even Sonny's story, But the neck thing, like, it's funny, like that neck thing came up, and I was going through my neck thing, you going through your neck thing, and I'm like, now it's like, how do I strengthen my neck? And I saw the training that they do, and I've been looking at training on how to keep it, stronger, because at the moment now, it's what I'm going through. Like, I have to strengthen those areas. But amazing, bro. Amazing. Really made me listen, man. Warner Brothers have been bringing out some movies this year, man. I got to say, like,
Yeah.
they brought out a slate of great movies, great cinema experiences, early half of this year, which has been absolutely amazing to be a part of that, and seeing that in IMAX with the sound and visuals. I think Joseph really put us in the driving seat when it comes to that movie, bro, because I felt it, bro, and the emotions, and Brad's reason of why. I think I spoke about it on one of the podcasts, about that moment of peace. We all search for that moment of peace, and he's always searching for it. But then, the story of him just driving. Some people just do things. Like, it's me. Like, I just do art because I just do it. You know what I mean? There's no reason behind it. You don't need. I think sometimes we're held back by people hold us back and say you have to have a reason to do something, but you don't. Like, when my daughter draws, she draws. Why am I going to stop her being in the zone? And I think that's what it was showing, that he's in the zone, they're in the zone. When as drivers, you're in the zone. Nothing else should be all of life's issues. Like it's one of those things where you just want to get a moment to get away. And I think that's why drivers do that. That's why, athletes do what they do. It's like they find a moment of peace in that, grappling somebody on the floor and like for some reason choking somebody out, you find a moment of peace. Some people do. Some
Right.
people probably just angry games, but some people find a moment of peace in what they do. And I feel like in this movie particularly, and I watched it a second time after as well by myself, because it hit me as an adult, because Sonny was that guy who wasn't able to fulfill that dream of his to win or even get to that point. As much as he loved driving, as he said when he was telling the girl that he hooked up with in that movie after, which was quite funny back and forth that they had. He he was explaining anybody's thoughts who has passions, dreams, ambition, but having to find that moment of peace. And I think I took that away from me from that story. As much as it was an underdog story of Sonny rising back up and getting to do what he wanted to do, but as you saw at the end of the movie, he continued. And I think that's what it is your momentum to find that moment of peace. Because spoilers, in that last scene, after what Idris did with Lewis Hamilton, and then it's like he had a moment where he grew, because he grew as a character as well. And that moment of peace, bro, like I felt everything in that moment, that peace. I love it, man. That was a good film, bro. Like it'll be, and it's got rewatchability to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Just as Joseph's other movies do. I still watch Oblivion. I still watch Tron Legacy. I still watch Top Gun, and I've watched them several times. You know what I mean? Tron Legacy, I've watched 1,000 times. This guy originally is an architect who became a director and was given the opportunity to make a movie, which I think it was Tron Legacy, if I remember, and then kind of move on forward to all the other movies. So that's why the scale and the feel and the look of stuff is so technical. And I think he likes making technical movies. Same thing with Top Gun. If you watch it, it's actually quite very technical. But he ended up making a movie where we didn't even know who the bad guy was, but we're still rooting for them. You know what I mean? He kind of had some middle ground where he was like, you know what? I don't want to do a war piece against, Arabs and all the rest of it like it usually is. How can I make a movie where we don't know where it is? I don't know if they even mention which country it was.
I want to say Russia, but I might be wrong. But you're
Okay,
right.
interesting.
You're right. The movie was done so great that you don't even know who the bad guy is. It was like, oh, we don't need to do that. Like,
There
there's
is
a
no
mission.
bad guy.
There
We
is
don't
no
see it,
bad
exactly.
guy in a sense.
Yeah.
It's really good. And you're right. Like, just thinking about him doing Top Gun and F1's like, man, you were able to capture the G-force, the force of this machine, be it a fighter jet plane or an F1 machine, which is a delicate beast of a machine. I don't even have to explain it, man. And he was able to capture that with the audience, put us audience through. This is what you have to go through. I remember in Top Gun, you can hear them do that. You know that thing where they get the blood to the head? They're like, hoop, hoop, hoop. Like you could see that, like those intricate sort of details, right? And then same with this movie, you could see every time he got into the ice bath. I know he was older and whatnot, but he had to get into they showed every scene that he had to get into an ice bath after for recovery and sweating. Like you don't know if like what they go through and the training they have to go through. These are like athletes. I laugh sometimes at like dart athletes and all that stuff. I cuss the boys because they watch dart, and I not cuss the athletes. They got skill set. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
there's a difference. Like in Formula One, like they're just in the car driving, but the athleticism of controlling this thing,
The neck, bro. The neck
everything, bro.
always gets me.
So good, and the story as you mentioned, like with Brad Pitt's character Sonny, he like that last scene when they were like, like he wasn't responding, and he was like I think the words were like he's flying, like he was in his piece and whatnot. And what I loved about it, he wasn't really emphasis on him wasn't really like I want to win the Formula One, that's my dream. It wasn't that. That was a part of it, but it was like you said, just doing what he loved, and he drove in any aspect from Destruction Derby to F1, which is obviously his thing, to what he did at the end. It was just like, that's what I love doing. I just love driving. And yes,
I love
winning
driving.
the F1 was awesome. And even the relationship he ended up building with Joshua Pearce, Desmond's character, was like amazing, because obviously you got this young kid who's got the ego and the social media and all that sort of stuff, and he wants to win. He wants to be in the limelight. But they build such a relationship, whereas at the end, he's like, listen, like, go live your dream. You know what I mean? Like even Joshua's character was like, go live your dream. Like and you go, like, I'm gonna win plenty in the future, but you go live your dream. And that respect where you do that for your team and whatnot is amazing.
It's a
how
big
they
thing.
built that. Yeah, it's
a
huge,
big
man.
thing, man. That's I'll always see that as such a big thing, because like we're all arrogant, we all got egos, and I think this is like a journey of showing that as well. It's like me, you know, when somebody said like shout out to Yusuf, yeah. He sent a really nice message, and he really enjoyed the episode we did with Fahim Fazli from the villager who was in Superman, and you know, he found it such an inspiring episode, you know. And the guy's just, you know, 60 years old, full of hope, still doing what he's doing, even though he does get typecast. That he keeps moving forward, you know. But I think being able to be humble about what you do as well, because he said Yusuf's the reason why I bring up Yusuf's name was like, it's like, thank you, bro, man, that was like one of my favorite episodes, and it's always quite inspiring to see that. And it's, you know, some people don't respond, you know, because they've got followers, ego, rest of it, blah blah. Like, I try and respond to everybody I can when we get messages like that, and humble. It's being humble, and I think that's what he was teaching Idris's character, was that being humble. Joshua's character, the character Joshua, you know, being humble in these situations, and having almost like a privilege that you're in this industry, because it's not easy. Like Sonny, spoilers, you know, broke his back in that accident back in the 80s in that race. Yet he did whatever he can to still be in that industry. Does that make sense? So
yeah,
crazy, bro.
and that's why
Absolutely.
I think he was like, obviously it's a fictional story, right? But if you was to think about the future of Joshua, like, he's gonna go on to do great things because of his relationship with Sonny. Like, I feel like they've already set up, and not that we ever need any future movies, and we don't.
No.
We just already know Joshua and that team, that XP. APXGP team, they're gonna go on to do great things, and Sonny had a big influence on that. However, like, they also had an influence on Sonny. You know, Sonny was a reckless character, right? He was don't get me, he was seasoned, he was very strategic, he was obviously haunted by his past.
Yeah.
Right? But he brought a lot to the table. He brought a whole different mind frame, and an old school, probably a mind frame of perspective of driving and engineering and strategy and all this sort of stuff, where the new guys are like, well, what the hell is all this stuff? What's he bringing? But he brought his old school ways. But that's the beauty of his character, you know, with all that strategy and that madness and the unorthodox way of doing stuff.
Yeah.
He's elevated that team and Joshua for the future. You know what I mean?
100%.
But which again, you saw that. I mean, that's what I loved about the movie, and the way it was told, the story that was told, and that why it was so captivating, because you could see each individual's role to make this team and these racers go on to have a bright future, even though it's a fictional movie and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, wow, you really done that to me as a non F1 spectator. I don't watch the sport, but I'm kind of invested in this team. I think
100%. I think that was absolutely brilliant that we got to have the opportunity to. I don't know why. I felt like I wanted to see more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You made me feel like it's a 2-hour movie, but you made me want to see more with the characters, and boy, it was good, man. It was good fun. I really enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it. Like, came out talking and, you know, feeling how that movie made you feel, man. And if you can make me feel like a racer, that's a job done. You know what I mean? Makes me feel what they're going through and the hardships, the good parts, the bad parts. You know what I mean? That's what movies are about, man. Like honestly, great film. Hans Zimmer soundtrack.
Oh,
You're
always
the
the
man.
best.
You're the
Always the
man. You're the
best.
man. Shout out to Hans Zimmer again. Again, I'm not going to get political, but you know,
Hey,
you know.
shouts to Brad Pitt because he just endorsed the Han movie at
Wee!
the Venice Film Festival. So
Henry Job one. Yes,
in
that's
the
right.
job
Yeah.
festival,
So
yeah. So
shout outs to you as well,
listen,
man.
we're not gonna get political, but we're giving shout outs. Javier, I already gave him a shout out. Brad Pitt, Hans Zimmer. Like, listen, man, like you got to support these guys. But this movie was great enough to support them as well as the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
being great.
100%.
So it's a
100%.
great
100%.
treat to us, man. So I mean that was like initial thoughts, guys, and the character sort of breakdowns and our reaction to the movie. Let's go into the something that's really something you can really talk about is the cinematography and style of filming innovation. So real racing. So I got some facts here. So real racing footage shot during the 2023 and 2024 Grand Prix weekend was used during this, and you can actually tell because like again, like when you're seeing the cinematography and you're seeing how great that is shot. And the way these cars are moving, this is not acting, and obviously it's not CGI and everything. This is not choreographed. This is real life intense racing. So these are people who are not choreographed driving and say, "Okay, you overtake me now." It's like no, like the real footage is taken, which is where you can tell that there's serious racing going on here. Custom
100%.
app, yeah, custom Apple iPhones based cameras are and prototypes Sony rigged fitted to F2 style cars to capture immersive onboarding angles. So, you know, I don't even know what an F2 car is. I think that's like maybe the cars that are alongside of those or something like that. But
Okay.
that's crazy they use that. Pitt and Idris physically trained and drove modified F2 cars, reaching real race speeds on authentic tracks. I mean, come on, they put the work in. That's like Tom Cruise. Honestly, like I know it's different levels and whatnot, but that's like Tom Cruise physically putting the work into to fly those fighter jet pilots in Top Gun. You know what I mean? And you could see. I mean, look, Idris is a young guy. He looked young and ripped and all that stuff. Pitt, listen, old school, still smashing it and whatnot. But when he was jumping in the ice bath all the time, my guy looked like he was in shape, and obviously he worked out for this. And you have to be to drive in these cars. You can't, with all
Yeah,
respect, you
exactly.
can't be like you know normal dude trying to get in those cars. So it's great that they put the work in, and you can see that they like it's like method acting in a way. Well, it is, I guess, because you're putting the work in to drive these damn cars. Like these cars are actors in the movie, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And then Lewis Hamilton, who's played a big part of it, I mean, he over Lewis Hamilton's oversight ensured driving realism down to the gear shifting and brake cues. I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like you got one of the best in the world, like monitoring these things. That's what you do. You go to the experts, like guys, like does this look real to you? And him giving that sort of details, like gear shifting and braking cues. I mean, come on, man. Like how more? If there's anyone to get advice from, he's definitely one of the dudes, and that's why. And I feel like that's why the movie was able to capture that realism of the racing because I didn't know this about Lewis Hamilton being involved, but after watching that movie, like it makes sense. I mean, how was you able to capture that realism of those cars? Like you done your research, you got experts involved, people who know about driving these cars. So I think that awesome. I mean that cinematography and filming and innovation style is just taking things to I want to say like new heights. You know what I mean? It's 2025. We've had millions and millions of movies, and loads of movies always kind of break records and break barriers and stuff like that. But I feel like with this movie, like they were able to break some barriers, man, with this sort of innovation and everything, with filming and talking to experts and the actors getting involved and really putting the work in. It just breaks barriers, which kind of it gave the movie that extra element, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, I see Kibbs is kind of gone. What's your
No,
thoughts
no,
on the
sorry, I'm
cinematic?
still here.
Your perspective on the cinematic style and filming innovation as like an artist, as a viewer, and whatnot. What was you and even what the boys were thinking about, like their reaction on certain scenes and stuff.
No, I mean the racing, like the way they directed some of the racing scenes were absolutely insane, bro. Like absolutely stunning, beautiful. They definitely were making you want to feel how the driving was, how unstable it can be if you're not doing the neck training. You get hit, man, you're gonna break your neck in there. You know what I mean? Like, I felt all of that. I felt all of that. The bumps in the road. How crazy is that? That you're watching something and you're feeling the bumps in the road. Like the way it was filmed, like so low to the ground. I think the cinematography. Let's give F1 cinematography. No, what would they call it? What do they call them?
So
Photography, is it? Oh, it's gone right in my head, man. Here you go. Hey, we do movie reviews, guys, and sometimes we forget shit. Shout out to the cinematographer. There you go. F1 cinematographer. F1 movie cinematographer. Because we should give them a shout because they're the one who like make sure they lay out everything. Claudio Marinda, who was the cinematographer on the F1 movie. So absolutely amazing. So he makes sure all the lighting is perfect for the cameras to get the visuals. And then, when he helps out massively on the storyboarding side of things as well. So Claudio, shout out to you. Absolutely amazing, bro. It's stunning. It's stunning. Like there's some scenes in there. You're like, the opening scene when it comes all the way out from the sky onto the drive-in and it goes straight into the race, and you're like, come on, bro. How you do this to me? Like you throw me right into a race, you know what I mean? Very good, bro. Very good, very good. I mean, I can only give compliments to cinematographer Joseph as well for directing such a stunning movie, bro, with a great soundtrack. Hans again.
Smashed it.
Feels. It feels. It's a movie about feels.
Yeah. Cinematography, I mean, they really nailed it with this type of movie, like a racing movie. Like, you know what I mean?
100%.
They made you feel like you're in the race and you're a spectator. It's not like this is what I said before. It's not like I watched a movie. It's like I watched an F1 race and I was following a specific team, which is, of course, the genre of the movie, but I felt like I was watching actual F1. Smashed it with that. We'll talk about F1. Let's talk about strategies and real F1 tactics because obviously they are involved. And if you're deep into the sport, you would know them, you would follow them, you would understand who's done them in the past and all that sort of stuff. I have no idea. So as a new person, this is what some of the strategy, because Brad Pitt's character was showing, Sonny was showing a lot of strategy and sometimes part of me made me feel like this is just Hollywood, they're Hollywood in there and making it a bit more dramatic or whatnot. But these are some of these real strategies, man. So here's three of them I got. A standout moment, choosing soft tires under a red flag at Abu Dhabi's becomes a narrative pivot, reflecting on the real F1 validity. So him choosing those soft tires, when they were against it, and he was like, no, bust on the soft tires. Like he just knew that there was a strategy behind that, and also like warming up the tires and remember the first race he does and everyone goes off with the practice lap, like everyone goes off with the first lap. That's for everyone to get their tires warm, right? So they have more traction and whatnot. And he took his time because he had a specific way of warming up his tires. And by the time he got to the even though he was last, by the time he got to the lineup, his tires were so warmed up and in the best position for him to just have grip and move through and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hungarian GP sequence showcased the tension between teams' plans in race intuition, true to real world F1 strategy dynamics. So yes, the dynamics between the F1 driver themselves and then their team who's guiding them and on the mic with them saying who's coming up behind, on your left, on your right, your engine looks like this, your tires this, you need to get a tire change, all that sort of stuff. There must be so much because remember, like of course, as crazy as it sounds, it's like MMA. Like it is an individual sport, but you do heavily rely on a team. Does that make sense? Because when you're in the cage, when you're in the F1 car, it's you, it's all you. And if you have not put the work in, it's your life on the line, right? But then you have a team to kind of guide you, to help train you, to help strategize with you, to help, let you know that what's needed, what strategy is needed. Go for, he's throwing whatever. Every time he throws a jab straight, he puts his right hand down. Every time there's something right? They pick up on these sort of things. You need your cornermen. You need these the team, I guess, the F1 team and everything. So But of
100%.
course, there's going to be dynamic difference because you're the one in the car. You're the one racing. You're feeling, you're seeing everything like that. So of course, there's going to be different dynamics and different strategic what do you call it, differences and everything. And
Hmm.
obviously, Sonny is a veteran, so he knows from his veteran perspective, like, listen, I'm going to come out with his unorthodox strategies, which is again against the
Exactly.
norm and against what this team. I wouldn't say they didn't know. They probably thought, nah, these things don't work. This is the way it works, right? And then, of course, in the real world of F1 driving, there's probably a lot of different dynamics between the teams and whatnot, and tensions between the teams. That's normal, which is awesome. The last one I had was frequent frequent depiction of pit stop tactics and tire management, a core F1 affected match outcomes. Sorry, I'm hearing a lava in the background.
Sorry.
Frequent depiction of pit stop tactics and tire management, a core F1 variable. Okay, so the tire man. So there was a lot of scenes you saw where it was like, again, the F1's team is like, all right, you need to change the tires. Whereas Sonny and Joshua's character was used, especially Sonny, kind of putting that strategy across, like, don't change your tires now. Like, when everyone goes in the pit stop, you go, you push your tires, like, and whatnot, which can be dangerous, of course. But if you strategically use it well, you get ahead of the race and whatnot. And they use that strategy well on when to change tires or not changing tires exactly when you need to, but just pushing them to, just pushing them a little bit more to get ahead and whatnot in the race. So again, strategies, man, dangerous strategies could be like if your tires go, man, like it could jeopardize a lot. But again, it's just um understand again, look, the feel of the car and whatnot. There was a scene I think where Joshua was trying to push his tires, he was ahead, but then his tires started losing traction and whatnot, and he was like, sorry guys, like it's got no more and whatnot. So it's just about really feeling and understanding every mechanic of this car, going down to the tire and whatnot. So again, great strategies. I like, it's amazing that this movie has got me interested in F1 strategies where I had no idea about them. So shout outs again to Joshua. Is it Joshua the director? Did I say his name right? Yeah. Um, you're mute, bro.
Joseph.
Joseph. So sorry. Yeah. Put a
Koskinski.
movie together.
Koskinski. Sorry. That's languages that we're not taught properly in English.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
All
all
right.
good. All good.
Let's move on to like Easter eggs and real life references. Because
Hmm.
this movie, if even I know as an amateur who doesn't watch the sport, like, you saw Lewis Hamilton, so I know who he is, but I think there's more in it. So you got cameos by real F1 stars: Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Fernando
Oh,
Alonso, and more. Right. So again,
Alonso, yeah?
I don't know none of them except Lewis Hamilton. That's because I don't follow the sport. Doesn't mean that they're not. I don't follow the sport, but again, you're getting these real life races involved, which is again a great dynamics to the movie. Appearance from actual team principals and commentators like Martin Bundle and David Croft lend authenticity. So the different teams, you like, we knew the names of some of them, like Ferrari and BMW or whatever they are in there, right? They're well involved, and this XRP company, what was it again? The APX was a competitor, and he was the underdog competitor against like the giants like Ferrari and them guys. And it's great to have that they real life teams were in there, because again, it gives you that authenticity of F1 racing. And then APX GP's black and gold car kit nods to Lotus JPS legacy, and the fictional storyline is rooted in a real world racing backdrops. Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's got a bit of the story. What is it saying here? Lotus, the fictional storyline, is rooted in the real world racing backdrop. So okay, so it's based on like some sort of real sort of story of the Lotus team, from what I'm reading here. Interesting facts, guys. Interesting facts. Let's go. Let's talk about some behind the scenes insights of this movie. So filming negotiations took a year with the FIA and then 10 F1 teams to secure track access and ensure no one was portrayed negatively. So that's interesting. There must have been a lot of dynamics there, contractual stuff from that perspective. But to get all those teams involved and contracts and whatnot, negotiations took a year. Could you imagine that? They like to start filming straight away, and all this sort of negotiations took a year. Extended editing allowed the team to shift through over 5,000 hours of footage. Strikes giving them time to refine the final product. 5,000 hours of footage. Could you imagine the detail, the attention to detail, and narrowing down on the final scenes to give you that authentic look? Man, must be a lot of work behind that. And then the film grossed over $650 million worldwide, becoming Apple Studios' highest grossing and most financial successful racing movie ever. Wow. I mean, that makes sense. And I have to say, it's got nothing to do. I mean, Brad Pitt obviously was a big part of it, but it wasn't like a money grab, like throw Brad Pitt's face in there and we'll get it. It was the whole concept of F1 and everything we talked about, from the cinematography, from the racing experience, from the story, from the characters, but everything. So big money, man. 650 million worldwide. That's huge. You're on mute, bro. You're on mute.
It's really good, man. Good movies, man. Good movies. It's a good movie. 100%. I fully enjoyed it. And I recommend anybody who's not even into F1 to go watch it. But it's a sad thing because I feel like this movie could have made more money. But this is what I'm getting from the audience. Okay, so this is what I've been hearing from other people saying, it's going to be on Apple TV, so I'm just going to wait because I'm already paying £200 a month, £200 a year on that service. So I feel like streaming services will make a big, this is me just being put, like, if you have a longer, have it in the cinema for like 3 months max. Like you used, before they used to have the cinema movies in the cinema for 6 months. Now it's 6 weeks. How has it got from that to this? So they're thinking they're going to make money on, you know, the apps and the streaming services and the rest of it, but it just doesn't give you big budgets no more. None of these movies are going to make money. I mean, look, you look at Marvel this year alone. Not even 2 of their movies made $1 billion. Doesn't make $1 billion. So it's like, you don't give these movies like, and this is a rewatchable movie, bro. For me to go cinema twice and pay for it, that's a rewatchable movie. So it's like, what are you not doing correct at the moment now? Because I know it's but you're not going to get the big box office. Now, even though it's a big one for them already, I just feel like they could have capitalized more on it. And there's a reason why. But speaking to people on the outside, I'm not going to spend £20 a ticket and then spend another £10, £20, or actually £20 minimum on popcorn and drink. It's like £13 or £14 for popcorn and drink. Bro, I'm sneaking in shit, right, man? Anyway, that's just me. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like people are not going to go see these movies, great movies as well. We've had some great movies this year, just because it's coming out on streaming the next month, bro. Next, Superman wasn't even in cinema for 6 weeks, bro. I mean, I think it's still currently playing. Like, even me, bro, Fantastic Four, I haven't even had the urge to go watch it. I haven't got that urgency. I mean, lucky we get screenings and all the rest of it, but I don't have the urge to, you know, that importance that it was like, I need to catch this in the cinema. I had F1 because it was already, the boys were booking it and they put it together. And I was like, you know what? I'm free that day. Let's go watch it. But this is how hard it is. And now I'm coming to that point where I'm like, I can stream that from home. I'm going to wait. I can stream it from home. And that's a sad thing.
Point. It's the sad thing, but that's the point. They got you too, because you can do that. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. But there is an extra revenue. That's what I'm trying to say though, bro. Like, I don't know how actors and all that sort of stuff sort out their contract, but there is an extra revenue that the studios or the main corporations get, because they didn't have that before. So you left the movie in cinema for 6 months because you didn't have a streaming app where you can make money on the side. You see what I'm saying? Now you're making revenue on the side. It's like, all right, we're gonna have to sacrifice some of the cinema revenue, and we're gonna capture that on the app. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not, I don't think, I mean, again, I don't know the business behind it, but it's not like, okay, guys, we're gonna make all the money on the cinema and also going to make a whole bunch of extra on the app. It's kind of like, well, we're going to sacrifice a little bit from the cinema and we're gonna get some on the app. So there's different revenue streams and whatnot. But it gets you too. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have the urge to go watch Fantastic Four because you know you can watch it on the app soon, right? But this is my point. Like with cinema, yes, it came out on digital, but it came out to rent first on digital, right? And there's a lot of people that don't go cinema, right? It wasn't out for free on one of the apps. It came out to rent, right? Same. So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they should do that though. I feel like they should do that, and they should just make it cheaper. Like come down to cinema, and a lot of people like that cinema experience. I do. That's an experience. It's not just watching the movie. Cinema is an experience, right? And then watching it from home, yes, it's a lot more convenient. But maybe they should charge people like £1 or £2 or £5 or whatever. It's not expensive. Don't charge cinema rates. No one's gonna pay that shit. They're gonna just wait. But if you like, I don't know, you run it in cinema for 6 weeks to 2 months, right? Then it comes out in digital, but you don't charge cinema prices. You charge half or even a quarter of that price, right? So you can say, so you're still making revenue from that. And then after 3-6 months, it comes out on the app and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
that's another way.
Because if it was like £2, someone would be like, yeah, you know what? I'll pay £2 for this and watch the movie. But if you're like 15 quid, I'm like, no, I'm not paying that. Like I had a friend. What did she pay for? I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what movie it was, but it was like, it was a Marvel one or whatnot. And she was like, yeah, I just rented it for like £12. I'm like, what? You paid £12? You should have just gone to cinema, because with £12 you go to the cinema and you get an experience. You get a huge screen. You get the sound is different. All that experience, it's a dark room. Whereas at home, it's more of a comfort. It's comfortability more than an experience. You're experiencing the movie, you're watching the movie. But I think with cinema, there's an experience there that you should feel and whatnot. Again, I don't know. Listen, I'm glad. I hope it made money at the end of the day, and it deserved it because it was such a great movie. I mean, as I said, like me being forced to put my phone down and be engaged. It's like you captured me, man. You demanded my attention with this movie, where it made me put my phone down. So I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's got definitely rewatchability. And I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I did. Honestly, I feel like this could have been a movie that went under my radar, but I just saw it and I was like, let me watch it, check it out. And I'm so happy I experienced it. It was just why I was like, kids, we got to do a review. When we do these reviews, it's on specific movies and whatnot. I was like, yeah, we got to do a full breakdown of this movie because this is how this movie made me feel. So top scores from me, man. Great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch F1 and go experience it. And if you're a racing fan or not a racing fan, it's for you. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Man. So,
no, definitely.
Any other final thoughts before you take us out, Kibbs?
No, man. Great movie. If you haven't had the chance to see it, go watch it now. If you didn't catch it in IMAX, then if you choose, you lose. That's it. But no, overall, great experience. And a good message about not giving up and continuing in what you find peace in. That's the message. There you go. All right, guys. As always, massive thank you for everybody joining the Brothers Geekout podcast. There's been a lot of love recently, man. We've had great guests on. And even though I've slowed down personally in the background, not being at all the events, and people still reach out to say how you've been, don't worry, I'm doing a sneak peek tonight because we got like some big interviews coming up. So I'm at a screening tonight, but I don't know how many people are going to be there. But just want to say massive thank you to everybody that's just shown love on all the stuff that we've done and the great messages. Shout outs to, I'm just going to start doing shout outs to people. Let's do it. Hold on. Oh, you look beautiful. Let me quickly, give me 2 minutes. Okay, all right. These guys, man, they're going to drive me nuts. Shout outs to Debbie, Yusuf, and it's gone out of my head. Shout outs to you guys. Anyway, massive thank you for all the love on the live as well. You guys have been absolutely amazing. We got loads happening, guys, so stick with us. More reviews coming. We know the podcast, I think it's, what is it, like monthly now?
Kind of turned into, we've been busy and we've been doing these reviews and interviews. So I don't want to say it's going to be monthly. We're going to get back on track, but just say,
you guys have got stuff coming out regardless. So make sure for latest news, that we double check before we put it out there is on our shorts, guys, on our page. And make sure you check out the community page as well. I post when we do events and when my sister and when Atia, again, shout out to Atia for going to all the events recently and giving us some great reviews. You know what I mean? She's been absolutely smashing it. She's got, what we do need to do is she needs to do these movie reviews for the horror films.
No, I would love for her to give a video, like a short video.
So what I was going to say, if she could do that for us, that'd be great. I know she's doing the writing at the moment, which is great as well. But yeah, shout out to sis as well. But other than that, listen, guys, look after yourself. And I catch you guys up. We catch you guys up soon. As always, thanks for the love. All right. That was a long takeout, but there you go.
All right. We out. Peace.
All right. Safe.